To start off with a 19mm socket, remove all 5 of your lug nuts and then take the wheel off. If your wheel is stuck on like this one, go ahead and put on a lug nut for safety and then use a rubber mallet and tap it from the backside, but always hit the tire, not the rim. You don't want to damage the rim. Remove your lug nut and take the wheel off. 18mm socket, try and remove this nut. And I say try because it's probably going to spin with the stud, and I have a solution for that. Before I try locking pliers, I'm going to give the Allen head a shot, put the Allen head in here, and hold the nut with an 18mm wrench. We'll see what that does. All right, let's try this again. Now, if you're going this route, you want to have your Allen head tightening. That way it'll spin the stud out of the nut. It actually worked. If it didn't work, let me show you what you want to do. You can get locking pliers right here, and that usually does the trick. Next, use a 21mm socket and disconnect these two. And actually, I should mention, if your brake hose retainer is still in good condition, go ahead and unbolt that with a 13mm. Mine is broken, so I can't do anything about it, but of course I'll reattach it to the new strut. You don't have to hold the bolt on this one. It's actually pressed into the knuckle on this side. Now put a nut back on, make it flush with the end of the bolt, and now with a hammer drive the bolt out. Do the same to the lower one. And pull these bolts right out. Separate this, and at this point you don't want to have the knuckle come forward much at all because you don't want to separate your CV axle. So what I'm going to do at this point is actually use a bungee cord and have the knuckle being held like this with a bungee cord. All right, I have my knuckle secured. It can't come forward. Doing this will allow you to avoid taking off the axle nut, which in my opinion is a win. So now let's get to the top of the strut. At the top of the strut, you'll see 3 13mm bolts. Go ahead and take those out. I'm only going to take 2 out. I'll leave the last one in, and then I'll grab the strut from underneath. That's going to allow me to hold it because the last one is just going to make it fall down. All right, last one. I'm going to hold it so it doesn't fall down. Remove that. I'm going to leave it up there. And here is your old strut assembly. Take your new strut assembly, put it up in here and line it up. As soon as your first bolt hole lines up, go ahead and start in that bolt. Okay, I got one started. I'm going to snug these up, but I won't torque them until the end when the weight of the vehicle is on the strut. Now take your knuckle, line it back up with the new strut, start in the 2 bolts. Be very careful not to pinch any of your wires here. Put the 2 nuts back on, and you'll notice that the 2 bolts need to basically pull themselves in through the knuckle. So when you snug them up, keep that in mind, make sure they're bottomed out. Snug them up. $133 foot-pounds for both of these nuts. Put in your sway bar link up top and start on the nut. Same technique and same tools again. Torque this to 48 foot-pounds. Reinstall your wheel. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. Now with the wheel on and the weight of the vehicle on the strut, let's torque these to 18 foot-pounds.